It's the Big House, Michigan Stadium, the largest college football stadium in the country, and it recently played host to the largest hockey game ever. But tonight, for the first time, it plays host to Varsity Blue. It's the Varsity Blue Bowl Special, live from the Big House, now. Well, welcome now live to the Big House. You can see a little breath here, some cold air rushing in. You're doing it on purpose now, Adam. I'll just take you through what exactly is going to happen in this episode. We're going to break down all the bowl games this year for you, painstakingly, every single one. Some great games, some not so great games. So when you're watching them, you know what's going on. But first, we need to take a moment because not everyone that was with us, Scott, I guess I'm talking to you because you've been here all 4 years now. Not everyone at the start of our journey has made it all 4 years with us. So let's take a moment to remember some of our defectors. If there's one thing Rich Rod supporters and Rich Rod detractors can agree on, it's that there has been a mass exodus of players from the Michigan football team since 2008. So we here at Varsity Blue attempted to compile a list of all those that we have lost. Justin Fagan, perhaps the most interesting exit of all, the Wildcat quarterback, running back, slot receiver, was booted from the team after a drug deal he orchestrated went awry. The catch? There were never any drugs involved. Thus, our speculation that he is currently in Hollywood, practicing up on his poor acting skills. No love lost for Tony Clemens, who helped spark the Detroit Free Press jihad against practice, but definitely the most painful departure on our practice squad is not a football player, but a hockey player. Aaron Pelushai left the Michigan hockey team for the NHL early in 2009. Pelushai's scoring was sorely missed by the hockey team the next season, but as a lifelong and local Michigan football fan, he was missed more in the Big House stands. And now for the all-defection team's starting lineup, and it's painful to see. Let's start with Sam McGuffey, the great midget from Texas, best known for jumping over a high school competitor in a famous YouTube video. He's currently at Rice, contributing but not starting for that football power. Steven Slow Motion 3 took his talents to the Southwest and Arizona State, where he started for most of the season this year. Johnny Sears, he of the many fumbles against App State, eventually landed at Eastern Michigan, and he's now part of a defensive backfield that includes two other Michigan players, Morgan Trent and Leon Hall, in Cincinnati. Boubacar Sissoko had legal troubles. Nobody knows what's going on with Ohio's best player of 2008, Justin Turner, and DeMar Dorsey failed to academically qualify at Louisville as well. Combined with Donovan Warren, who left early only to go undrafted, that makes 5 defensive backs on the all-defection first team. And finally, who should be number one? Is it Ryan Mallett? Mallett went 5-1 as a starter in the 2007 season for Michigan, most notably beating a ranked Penn State team. He transferred to Arkansas as soon as Rich Rod was hired and has been lighting up SEC defenses since. Justin Boren transferred to, well, you know, after Rich Rod wouldn't offer his brother a scholarship. He's been all Big Ten the past 2 seasons for that school from down south. But who was a bigger loss, Mallett or Boren? We'll let them decide.
Hello, Justin. Hello, Justin.
Hello, Ryan. Long time no see. How has Arkansas treated you so far? You look great in that leopard print skirt.
Thanks, Justin. Arkansas has been fantastic. How has life been in Columbus?
I love Coach Tress. He lets me skip workouts, eat all the candy I want, and even gave the scholarship to my undeserving brother.
Well, that's good to hear. Glad Tress will participate in cronyism unlike that stupid face Rich Rod.
I called you because I wanted to know, who do you think Alex, David, and Adam picked as the most important transfer from Michigan football?
Well, Justin, I don't know. I find it hard to believe they wouldn't pick the greatest offensive lineman that I've ever laid my eyes upon.
Oh, Ryan. You are so sweet. Did I mention how great that leopard print skirt looks on you? Even though I block well, I've never blocked for a quarterback with as ripped an arm as yours. Terrell Pryor can't compare.
That's so nice of you, Justin. Do you want to get a coffee or something?
OMG. LOL. Yes. Ryan, I've been hoping you'd ask that ever since you threw the ball into the air like a little girl to celebrate that touchdown in '07 against Penn State.
We've wasted too much time then. Let's get out of here, Justin. There's not much time until we make it to the NFL and can't see each other more often.
Habona. I can only imagine that Michigan fans must be hurling. Okay, let's go, Ryan.
Coming up on Varsity Blue, the gang talks Group 1 matchups.
Nice work on UTEP.
What?
I'm glad it was a one shot because I just started laughing.
Your Group 1 bowl matchups. We start with the New Mexico Bowl, where a 6-6 BYU team takes on the 6-6 UTEP Miners in the battle for a winning record. In the MAC vs. WAC Humanitarian Bowl, MAC West champion Northern Illinois looks to tame the feisty Fresno State Bulldogs. We then head to the Big Easy, where the Ohio Bobcats are the proud New Orleans Bowl against the Trojans of Troy. In the St. Petersburg Bowl, Charlie Strong's Louisville Cardinals play Southern Miss. And finally, one-time BCS hopefuls Boise State and Utah head to the City of Sin for the Mako Las Vegas Bowl. Your Group 1 bowl matchups.
Brad Hewlett. Brad, these are the 5 or 6 worst bowls, I think, objectively we can say. So thank you for biting the bullet. One of them might be really good. Okay, we'll take a look. Well, let's start first with the New Mexico Bowl, Brad. UTEP and BYU, 2 6-6 teams. This game seems like the perfect reason not to have 800 bowl games every year. This game seems like the perfect reason not to have 800 bowl games every year.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, you look at these two teams, like, should they even be playing in bowl games right now? UTEP, nobody knows much about them, and for good reason. But on the other hand, BYU really got off to a shaky start in the beginning of the season. Started off 1-4. True freshman quarterback Jake Heaps. Everybody, a lot of hype coming in. Best quarterback in the country out of high school. But shaky start of the season. Really turned it on as of late. He's gone for 9 touchdowns and 1 interception in the last 4 games.
So the Cougars over the Miners of UTEP in the New Mexico Bowl. Let's move on to the Humanitarian Bowl, Brad. Northern Illinois and Fresno State. Fresno beat Illinois in their last game. And Fresno State. Fresno beat Illinois in their last game of the year.
Yeah, well, this is probably the most underrated matchup of the season, of the bowl season. Northern Illinois, big key here is they lost their head coach to Minnesota, so he's leaving. How is their offense going to function without him? And then for the Fresno State Bulldogs, they come into this game with a win over Illinois in the last game of the season. However, I still like Northern Illinois to win this game.
All right, let's move on to the New Orleans Bowl, Brad. Ohio and Troy, 2 teams that...
Again, why is this a bowl game?
Exactly.
It seems like Troy always plays in this bowl game. You know, they're from around the region. But I'm picking Ohio simply because, well, A, because they have 2 good running backs on their team, and B, because their mascot beat Ohio State's mascot up.
This is true. Also coached by former Nebraska coach Frank Solich. So always keep an eye on that team. The St. Petersburg Bowl, Brad. That's really a mouthful. Louisville and Southern Miss. Who do you have in this one?
Well, you look at these 2 teams. One comes from a power conference, one from not so much. And really,
wait. Big East Power Conference?
You're right. Let's stick with formalities,
the
BCS conference.
All right, there we go.
Louisville, I like their head coach, Charlie Strong, obviously from that Urban Meyer coaching tree. I think he's going to have him ready, set to play. And Louisville beat UConn earlier in the season, really killed them. And so I like Louisville in this game.
Okay, and then the last game, probably the most interesting in this group, the Las Vegas Bowl, Utah, Boise State. Of course, Boise State falls all the way to the Las Vegas Bowl because not in a BCS conference. But Utah, not as strong a Utah team as we've seen in past years.
You're right. Well, before the Utah-TCU game, everybody thought Utah, top 5 in the country, maybe they could make a little noise in the BCS too. Then they go and actually at home, they lose to TCU, get clobbered, then lose to Notre Dame.
More than 40 points, and then more than 20 to Notre Dame. Yeah.
So obviously they're out of the national picture. They fall down to this bowl game, and Boise State falls all the way down. Maybe they should be playing for a national championship right now if they didn't lose to Nevada, at least a BCS game, but they fall all the way out. Their quarterback, obviously everybody knows Kellen Moore. He's a Heisman finalist. Obviously lost to Cam Newton. But I look for Boise to win this game and win big. They have one of the best offenses, best defenses in the country.
Unfortunately, you won't be able to see Boise State play a quality opponent again like they did against Virginia Tech, in that first week of the year. All right, thanks a lot, Brad. Now let's take a look at the picks of myself, Adam, David, and Scott. We'll start with the New Mexico Bowl, BYU and UTEP, a game I'm fairly confident that BYU is going to win, but David, you're the only person that picked UTEP.
Well, I'm going to go the other way, and that's because I think that Trevor Vitito is going to have a huge game at quarterback for UTEP. He has over 12,000 passing yards and 94 touchdowns on his career. It seems that he's regressed a little bit over the last couple of years, but that's because he hasn't had as strong of a team around him. I think overall in this one, he's going to have a big game. He's a senior. It's his last game. I really think he's going to have a big one. I take UTEP.
All right, so we'll have to see who's right on that one, a 3-1 split. Let's move to the Humanitarian Bowl. This is a game I really want to delve into, guys. Let's start with you, Scott. You picked Northern Illinois to beat Fresno State. Fresno State with a big win over Illinois, the real university in Illinois, in the last week. Why Northern Illinois?
And of course, Northern Illinois lost to Illinois at the start of the year as well. Right. Northern Illinois' running back, Chad Spann, very good. Averages about 100 yards a game. He's the MAC Player of the Year. He's a very good football player. Obviously, Northern Illinois lost their head coach, which does hurt, but Northern Illinois very solid throughout the MAC, almost going undefeated before losing the championship game. I think Northern Illinois is a very solid football team.
Right, of course, Jerry Kill going to Minnesota, and you may or may not have noticed that Jerry Kill is probably going to be a good fit in Minnesota. Take a look at this. Jerry Kill actually kind of looks like a Golden Gopher, guys, doesn't he? Kudos to Adam Brewster for coming up with that.
You're welcome, world.
Right. The world thanks you, Adam Brewster. Okay, Brewster, while we're talking to you, why Fresno over Northern Illinois?
I think that is exactly one of the reasons. Losing your head coach is something
because Jerry Kill looks like
because Jerry Kill looks like a Golden Gopher. No, because Jerry Kill, it's tough to win a bowl game when a new coach is coming in. You've seen guys like Bill Stewart do it at West Virginia when he took over for Rich Rodriguez. But at the same time, it's a big adjustment. Northern Illinois maybe 12-1, but they went through a very weak MAC conference this year. And Fresno State, a very disciplined football team. Pat Hill will have his team ready to go.
The New Orleans Bowl, Ohio and Troy. I went with Ohio. Adam, you also went to Ohio. Scott and David goes to Troy. Not a real intriguing matchup on December 18th there. But let's talk about the St. Petersburg Bowl. We'll start with you, Scott. Louisville, Southern Miss. You go with Louisville in this game and Charlie Strong.
Yeah, Charlie Strong, the old assistant coach at Florida. That's a big reason why I have Louisville. Charlie Strong has coached in big games before, and also if you look at Louisville's schedule, they're a deceptive 6-6. They've lost 5 games to teams that are going to bowl games, and 5 of those losses of the 6 were one-possession games. Louisville, I think, is a deceptive team, definitely a lot better than the Southern Miss team.
All right, and then everyone went with Louisville except for myself, Southern Miss. I just think Southern Miss is a stronger team. Arkansas State is a win by that Louisville team. There's some real cupcakes in there that got them to those 6 wins. Though, interesting to point out, a 26-0 win over UConn. UConn is by far the strangest team this year. And then finally in this set, the Mako Las Vegas Bowl, Utah and Boise State. Utah kind of, it's not the normal Utah. They do have 10 wins, but they just got crushed by TCU by 40 points. So Boise State, everyone here thinks is just going to roll in that one. Of course, Boise State falling so far by not getting into the BCS all the way to the Las Vegas Bowl. Insert BCS criticism here. All right, well, that's all for the first set of games. Let's take a look at our grouping number 2.
Your Group 2 Bowl matchups. First, the Poinsettia Bowl has Navy's bombarding ground attack against the Aztecs of San Diego State. The Tulsa Hurricanes look to wash away the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors as they play at home in the Hawaii Bowl. The Flying Falcons and buzzing Yellow Jackets will fight for ground supremacy in the Independence Bowl. And Pizza, the Toledo Rockets look to blast off against Florida International in the Little Caesars Bowl. Lastly, the Mountaineers are surrounded by Russell Wilson and the Wolfpack in the Champ Sports Bowl. Your Group 2 Bowl matchups.